I don't like technology. Okay. Let's see if I can do. Let me see if I can do this now. This gonna be the last time, y'all. The last attempt. Hey. Let's see. Oh, there. I think. Is it possible? Is that happening? Man.
Yeah, we go.
So, y'all, my people is in Nigeria right now. That's who I'm trying to bring in. My brother Adeleye in Nigeria. So be patient with us, quick. I really want him to get in on this conversation, um, and drop some jewels for y'all on this. So anyway, I had a post the other day, and it said, if you're going to say Oshun, take the H out. If you're going to say Shambo, take the H out. If you're going to say Shade, not Sharde, take the H, the R, and the Y. Sometimes C out. I've seen it spelled Scharady. Get to learn. Yeah, I just sent him a request. So, it got some posts got a little fiery. Some posts, it was taken out of context because I was not talking about the religion itself. Yeah, I wasn't talking about the religion and the adaptations of languages in the different regions. Of course, the languages are going to be different and enunciate the Yoruba words way differently because you have, Portuguese in Brazil, they say Oshum. They have a whole different alphabet. Then you have the Spanish alphabet, and the dialects are different, depending on region you're in. So like in Cuba, they say Oshun or Ochun. Usually I hear Ochun. I, I I hear somebody. Hello, is somebody on here? I don't. Y'all want a bowler? So, uh, so some people saying I'm bashing. Ah, there you go. There he is. I'm trying to waste time, you know. But let me finish. Wait a minute, wait. I got a little.
Ekaale, well, it's morning here, so Aro,
Ah, right.
yeah, it
Eh,
is.
caro. Cairo, sir.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to explain to the people why I brought you in here, and thank you so much for coming in on this conversation. Though it's 2, 3 a.m. there.
Yes,
Thank
close to
you.
3 a.m.
I know you're
Yeah.
tired. Ah, Madinu. You're gonna
No, no
sleep real
problem.
good after this. So the conversation kind of went wayward, and I was like, why is it that we have so much more respect for the Spanish language,
Mhm.
French language, Wolof, uh, Portuguese, whatever, except all African languages? Some like, if you speak in Twi, if you speaking, like I said, Wolof, and I'm not
Yes.
talking about the French speaking
Mhm.
uh countries, like Mali and some of Senegal and some of Senegambia. I'm talking about the different languages that is not popular. Why not take the time to learn those and respect the history and the language? I mean, because it was ripped away from our ancestors. It was ripped away from the culture. And even learning the history of pidgin, how pidgin and patois came about, and how
Yes.
all the slave masters and the ones who control all of that made all the clans speak broken English, so they didn't have to learn the different tribal language.
That's
And
true.
so we know that pidgin and patois is like, it's so wide. You got patois in the Caribbean, which is
Yeah.
broken English. You got pidgin all across African continent, and so going back to the conversation, some people were just like, well, what does it matter? It's Ochun and this and then Oshum and I'm just like, that's not the point that I'm making. I'm not. I respect our regional lineages. I respect adaptations because um wherever the language laid, that people try to really really preserve it, and I respect that. But if you're going to practice a traditional cultural, because culture and religion is just intertwined in Yoruba land. It's very
Mhm.
hard to separate. Period. It's no, I'm just gonna practice the culture or I'm just gonna practice the religion. It's so intertwined. So language is very important. Plus Yoruba language, I've learned over the years, it has its own ofo, its own ashe. It like it's certain tones, certain sounds that unlock our shade, even when it comes to prayer. Why wouldn't
Yeah.
anybody want to learn that? I don't get it. I'm so tired of the bullshit. Stop being lazy. Stop saying I
Mhm.
don't. I ain't gonna pronounce it. Can I just say that? Stop being lazy. If you're going to practice whatever African traditional religion you're going to choose to worship, get deep in it. Don't be on that surface shit. Get deep in it. Learn all of it because it was ripped away from us. What you gonna pass down? Some half-ass shit? Anyway,
All
so
right.
you, my brother. So you've
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
like going hard and practice. I mean, uh, uh, being available
Yeah.
to teach Yoruba, Yoruba language and history
Yes.
to the masses.
Yes.
And so I give you big ups on that. That's, sometimes it's not easy because, you got to go and you got to go really deep and get a history of the language. And so what are
Yes.
your thoughts before we get off into, why it's important? Let me say, when I was in Oyo, which I already told you, I was in Oyo
Okay.
the first time that I went, and so I have a heavy dialect of
Yes.
the Midwest. So in the United
Yes.
States of America, in different areas, you have different dialects, just like it is in Yoruba land, right? And so I come from the Midwest of the United States. I have a Midwest twang. And so some of the words are very difficult for me to enunciate in Yoruba. It is very difficult at times. And so I was in Oyo thinking I was a bomb. I'm like, Oko, Oko. Yes, they say, where's your husband? I said, my Oko is at home. And, and all along, I'm saying penis. I had no idea of the accent marks. I had no idea that it was several different oko, oko, oko. Like the different total marks. You have different okos, which is penis, husband. I think it's
Yeah.
farm,
Yes.
uh shoe or
Oko.
something. It's so many different, and I was like, they're spelled the same, but they are enunciated differently. And so I was looking like a fool, but they corrected me. After they made me look like a fool and was laughing, they said, "Oh, you're saying penis," and I'm so like embarrassed as hell. And so that kind of started my journey on learning correct Yoruba.
Yeah.
Understand? Shotigbo. And so what's
Uh,
your take on it? What's your take?
okay, so well, thanks. Yeah, I really appreciate this opportunity to speak on language here. It's my first ever live video on Facebook. You know,
You are
yeah,
welcome.
yeah, yeah. So first things first, Yoruba language is as old as the culture itself because we cannot separate the language from the spirituality. In fact, the language is the umbrella of the spirituality
I agree.
because all, all what we say, the chants, the oriki, whatever it is, apisin orisha, apisin ori, apisin egbe, is language we use to pass across the
Yeah.
message. And whatever is also said carries weight because Yoruba people believe that spoken language has power itself.
I should.
You know, even the mouth is regarded, as technically as an orisha. You know, because with your mouth you can undo and do things.
Do.
You
Yes. You can undo
know,
and do. And
yeah, definitely. So that is why sometimes they tell our, don't curse, don't say bad stuff, because it is already there, the power to make or mar, in language. Another thing is this, in Yoruba land, prior to the coming of colonialists, the white man, we already had this language. It may not be in the ABC form because, of course, a lot of cultures of the world, a lot of countries, languages have found a way to adapt and adopt the so-called alphabets, you
yes.
know. And each of these countries and cultures choose the certain characters within the alphabet to suit their own uh,
The
their own culture.
accommodate. Yes.
Yes, you understand. Yeah. For instance, if you look at Igbo language in Nigeria, the set of alphabets in Igbo will differ slightly from those in Yoruba. The set of alphabets in Hausa will differ from those in Yoruba because Yoruba people wouldn't, pronounce certain letters, so
Yes.
everything varies that way. So, the other day on the post, there was this argument that, oh, blah blah blah, Jai Crowder, this and that. I say, hey, everybody finds a way to adopt and adapt this language. Even the so-called alphabet is not of English origin; it's borrowed.
Yeah.
You know,
It
there's
is.
even
It's Latin.
yes, there's even the disputes where, the Greeks, some scholars have come up to say the Greeks don't even own these alphabets, that they also borrowed from somewhere. So in world history, there's always a degree at which we borrow from one side and build on it to form our own. But
Yeah.
in forming our own, we must now build it to suit us, you know. The Russians have their unique alphabets to suit the way they speak,
Right.
and they would never trade that for the English alphabets. Never.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
Yoruba have theirs. So why can't we promote the Yoruba adaptation of the alphabets, to suit the Yoruba? And then when we look at something like that as well, we see colonial tendencies involved because we always want to read the alphabet from the English perspective, you know.
That's true with the comparisons. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, and sometimes the comparisons don't help in terms of linguistic analysis. For instance, some words, when I was teaching Yoruba earlier yesterday, uh, the Iya tried to, you know, directly translate into English. I said it is not possible to have an exact translation of of a Yoruba word because these languages are from different family of and so they don't mean we can only find a suitable way to describe, okay, this is what this is saying, you know this is what this is
Mhm.
saying. For instance, let's speak uh, the word Olodumare. Yes,
That's a
Olodumare,
good
for
comparison
instance.
because God is not compared to Olodumare.
Yes, you see, uh, and colonialism has a lot of negative contribution here. Of course, in the generic term, we'll say, oh, God as in the supreme being and all that. But trust me, with all the oriki that Olodumare has, one word is not enough to just, because it will be limiting. So Yoruba language is beautiful. It is vast.
It
It
is
is
that.
it is very, very vast. And as such, in explaining some of these things, people need to realize, oh, Yoruba is not just a language to be set aside. If you want to embrace spirituality, Yoruba spirituality now, you need to devote some time to learn the language for what it really is. Because certain words themselves in Yoruba language are sentences. But if you do not understand, you won't get to the bottom. One,
Yes.
you, yeah, one example I usually use is the word kabiesi. You know, everybody says kabiesi Shango, kabiesi Shango, kabiesi o, and they think that word means king.
Yeah.
You see, the word itself is a sentence fused together, like you have in
Yeah.
many other
Like
Yoruba words.
contractions. Like contractions.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, there are plenty like that in Yoruba. Like, for instance, now going by Kabiesi, Kabiesi is a sentence or a phrase which is Kabio Kosi.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Kabio Kosi. That is, who dares question you? Nobody. Yes, I'm gonna try to write that down. Uh,
Ah, okay. I learned something new. I never knew that. I did not know that Kabi was
yeah,
a contraction. But so many
yeah,
words in Yoruba are contractions, so that's the
you know,
thing why it's so important. One thing that one of my Awo brothers suggested a few years ago was
okay.
to learn Yoruba through greetings first. Like
Hmm.
Ekaro. And then it went from Ekaro to She Dadaleji. And then it went
Yes,
to She Arali. And it went to, how are you? How's your family? Ilenko,
yes,
how it went from the
yes.
greetings and then it went into actual conversation that built off from greetings, which made it more easier for me to learn and comprehend. I know everybody is
You're right.
different, but he had suggested that for me and it worked much better comprehending Yoruba.
That's right. Greetings. That's another thing that is very, very essential in Yoruba culture and language. Greetings. Greetings. Yoruba people are known for having
Ah, God,
greeting for
yes.
every specific situation. Echo this, echo that, echo this, echo that. You know,
Mhm.
and I once saw a post one day. Part of why anytime I see an error on a post, I inbox the person to correct them so they can effect the change.
Mhm.
I saw that, oh, the prefix eku is used only when you're celebrating something, which is not so. Let me write that here.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm coming.
Okay, now I see how to spell it. Kabiokosi. Wow.
Yes, kabiokosi.
Mhm.
So, eku or eku Eku or eku is used to, you know, uh, me to point out a form of greeting. You know, in the morning, you know, most of us say ekaro, but the
Yes.
actual breakdown of that ekaro is eku aro. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so like you said, a contraction has happened there as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
coming.
Mm-hmm. So that's good to know. Yeah, with the greetings, you got Echo Joko, Echo. It's just it's so many greetings for standing, greetings for sitting, greetings for laying down, greetings when you walk in the house, greetings if they outside the house. The Yoruba will greet you to death. And
Oh, always
it's
greet.
good because they are
Yes,
welcoming. The clan of Ede Yoruba are very welcoming.
yes,
Very,
you are
they
very true.
like
Yeah.
to accommodate.
In fact, and once you show respect, you know, a Yoruba person will give you back that respect in tenfolds. Because
Mm.
even if you don't speak the language, but once they see that respect in you, you know, they will do a whole lot for you. That is why, okay, for instance, still talking about greetings. If a woman gives birth now, we greet the woman, Ekuowolomi. That is, we are greeting that person in line with the fact that a mother will always bath the child, will always touch water at that
Oh
point
wow.
in time. Yes, Ekuowolomi. That is
Eku
your hands.
wolomi,
Yeah, let me write that down. Uh,
wolomi, wolomi. Eku
Eku.
wolomi. I'm
You're
gonna get them
trying, yeah.
accents correct. I'm gonna get the accent correct. I'm telling you, I'm going to keep trying.
Yeah.
But that right there just
Yes.
stood out and let me know that how important and how the Yoruba culture influences the language. And that's
Yes.
why it is so important to learn it correctly.
Yes.
Very
So that's
important.
yes, yeah.
How do
So
you feel?
Ekuowolomi.
How do you feel as a Yoruba man,
Okay.
as a Yoruba born? Okay, everybody can see you. As a Yoruba man, and someone tells you that they won't speak your language correctly.
Um, you see, there are two levels to it. If the person says it because perhaps they're a slow learner in the language, I would want to teach that, okay, let me teach you. It's not hard, it's this, it's that. But if the person says, oh, gives that I don't give a shit attitude, then it's a little disrespectful. Because
Yes.
growing up in Nigeria, the irony is this, because I attended a Catholic school, in my primary school, they will teach us never to speak the language. They call it vernacular. They say don't speak vernacular. If you speak Yoruba, you're gonna get caned. Yes, that's that's the irony.
Wait,
Because
wait,
yeah.
wait, wait. You about to make me cry because I'm that damn angry.
Well,
You got beat. You got beat for speaking Yoruba. What?
yes, and because the setting, missionary schools, they still thrive till now, but back then, and then coupled with the military era as well, it was almost a dog eat dog situation, back then in the 90s, and 80s and the likes, so, the missionary people don't want you speaking Yoruba, they don't want you, so the self-hate had been put, in the mind of the child from a very young age. A lot of things are going wrong here. Born because I was born into the Catholic Church. I was Catholic for a while, until I started to rethink for myself, courtesy of Malcolm X, fella, and a couple, courtesy of you too. Yeah, I remember on Instagram. That was when we first connected.
Wow.
So
Hey now.
so a lot of these ideas were already put in the mind of the child. And this, let's take for instance Eshu as well, the Irumole Diorisha, that is very revered. If we're eating back then, if we're eating and the food drops, they spank you not to pick it. They say Eshu has eaten it. They painted. Yes, yeah, this is the reality we grew up with. They say she has eaten it, and we grew up with that self-loathing for, like, you don't love yourself. You feel, all the reality is what the Europeans and everything, present to you. So yeah, that's been what we've dealt with. It's, yeah, when you sit down to think about all this level of indoctrination, you can shed tears, you want to go crazy. And the funny thing is this, for those born outside, uh, because we have families who are custodians of African spirituality, Ifa, Orisha, Isheshe, they never left, for so they, even them still face certain level of discrimination, even till this day. You see somebody wearing Ifa bead, Ifa this, you already tag
Yes,
him as a, so it's a
I
lot
mentioned
going
I,
on.
I mentioned not long ago how Dada, Shango, who else was it? Oya people. It was, you know how you can't cut your hair. The clan can't cut their hair. It's taboo to cut their hair.
Yes,
And so
yes.
the missionaries would say, well, in order to come here, you got to cut your hair. And so a lot of devotees of certain clans could not get educated. They didn't go to school. And my father-in-law was one of those people, and his cousins and friends would bring the lessons home and share it with him. He
Hmm.
was initiated at such a young age, and he missed out on going to school because they wouldn't cut his hair, it was against it was a taboo. And it's really sad because a lot of that is still practiced to
Of
this
course.
day. And so that's why it's so vital and important to
Very,
preserve and
very,
for me to advocate and fight for this, that this is
very.
our forefathers. If you're going to practice, don't half-ass practice. Go all
That
in.
is true. That is true. So yeah, that's just the reality of this thing. So
Wow.
still talking about language, I see some basic misconceptions myself that I try to correct. For instance, the word ashe, you know, is often written with the wrong tone. I think I don't know if you can see the one
Oh,
up
okay.
here is wrong. The one up here is wrong.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
the spelling, the accent, yeah. Yeah.
it is wrong. So the one below, so there has to be a dot under that S and a dot under the E, you know, and then a slant on the A.
I
So
see.
yeah, I'm gonna write the correct one
Okay.
on the charts right now.
So for those who are coming in or who have been here, Adeleye is a teacher of Yoruba language, and he gives private classes and one-on-one classes via video, of course, or if you can fly into Yoruba land and get it in person, that'll be good. Um, but he does give the classes, and I've been interested to sit down and learn these accent marks, which is the most challenging for me. And I want to encourage everyone to continue to learn. Don't just get to a point and stop. Challenge yourself. Challenge, 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 challenge yourself. Don't say, oh, I'm not going to need that, because you may. You never know what you need. It's some things that I've gotten under my belt and had to pull it out years later. And so, like, learning the greetings got me really far in Yoruba land. The the
That's true.
the the families and the women, when I grew, they like, wow, you're really trying, you're giving effort, and then bam, they dash me some information that, for me and my Orisha or family or whatever, it's like, wow, or whatever, or dash me whatever, or give me or welcome me in, because I respect I took the time to respect their culture and their native tongue. It's not my native tongue, but it's my maternal my maternal lineage, native side. So I give it that much more respect because so many it was snatched away from my people, you know. So and it's still being just like he said, snatched away to this day, which is
Mm.
very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Um, yeah. So if y'all want to reach out, he does great classes. He'll get you to understand. He's very patient. I don't know how you're so patient. You're very patient.
Um, you see, yeah, being in the academics, you have to deal with a lot of students that you teach, and not everybody has the same capacity. Like I
Yeah.
told you, some learn fast, some learn slow. So understanding that, I try to create a balance, to reach out
Yeah.
through language and everything. Yeah, one thing I want to say again. Um, in Yoruba land, age is one of the major factors of eldership.
Okay.
Age is one of the major factors. But then, sometimes, you know, it is not only age that is the factor. Being, and, of course, having gone through initiation rites, you know,
Oh,
one could be, yes, the yeah, Baba, that gives,
oh yes,
the
yes,
way,
yes, yes, yes,
yes,
yes.
that is the prestige that comes with it. Not just there's a certain level of depth that that, oh, this person has gone through or is currently going through, and one of the things they tell initiated priest too is that, hey, you have to always give that mutual respect, you know.
Yeah.
Well, so, in greeting, you message somebody, you get a lot of, hey, how you doing, this and that, so starting a message with hey, seems a little off,
It's
especially if we're involved in Yoruba culture. I can't see an old man, Baba, and just say hi or hey. you know that would seem so disrespectful, so disrespectful. And now that brings me to another thing, the common greeting, báwo ni.
oh yes.
All right.
Please
So
correct
báwo
me
ni.
because I say it all the time. Please correct me.
Okay. So so báwo ni simply means how is it? Yes. Báwo ni simply means how is it? As it is, I can't tell an elder báwo ni. I can't tell you báwo ni. Yes, because I'm just saying, how is it? You know, it's more like saying hi. You can't tell a Baba hi or what's up, to maybe one of the chieftains over here. You can't say that, but there's that misconception that that means, how are you doing? No, that's just how is it?
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, so and in Yoruba land we have honorific pronouns. We cannot just say everything to elders. It will come off as lacking respect.
It's true.
And yeah, and in Yoruba land, once a child lacks manner, they will refer to the child's mother because it is believed that the mother is the one who is supposed to train the child. And that means the mother hasn't done her duty, And
Yeah.
there are, yeah, and there are ways the elders will say it. They will just refer you, to your mom straight, you know. So, so all these little um, uh, concepts are needed to, so we can appear as, at least we can be, not just appear as, we can be respectful to the adults. Another thing
I
is
agree.
this. Okay, yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, I agree with that because even here, you don't, what's happening is that people are so disconnected and so um the technology, everything is just making us disconnected. So I had people that come in my inbox and be like, "Hey, what's up?" and just start going into the conversation instead of saying, "Hello, good afternoon. How are you? How's your family? How's everything?" They don't pause for a minute because you don't know what I'm going through. You don't know. That's why Yoruba greetings, and I
Yes,
guess I'm just so old school, is so important. They ask how that person's journey is. How was your journey? How was your family? Because you don't know what that person went through. You don't know if
that's
they just
true.
got in an accident. You don't know if
That's
they
true.
lost a family member. You don't know if they're
That's true.
sick. That's why
That,
we offer food or drink when the person comes. When we see them, would you
then,
like some water? Would you like food? Would you, people
then,
are so
then,
damn disconnected and rude.
then,
I mean, people go
then,
straight into texting me or giving me, like, it's like, whoa, what is going
mm,
on? So,
mm.
um, I guess it's out of control, and your culture also is getting out of control with people just like half-ass
And,
greeting nowadays, which
and
is
you know, okay,
sad.
one of the major reasons of that, because to be very, very frank, um, tradition is being put in the back by the government, by with less public holidays, less recognition, and so all these things generally in the mind of the child, a child who is probably born Christian, born Muslim, tradition becomes the last thing, and so they want to try to imbibe the Western ways
Mm,
of relating, of speaking, of thinking, of believing, you know, because a lot of the times when I meet people, I say, I practice, I practice Isheshe. Oh, I'm into Ifa, I'm into Orisha, and all that. They instantly look at me as the devil's younger brother or something,
wow.
which shouldn't be so. If I'm filling a form online, maybe a government form for something, and it gets to the box to fill in your religion, you see Christian, you see Christianity, you see Islam, and then you see others. You know, so you begin to wonder what exactly is being done to propagate spirituality the way it is. Because we can only try to keep pushing culture forward, but what is the government doing? Where is the recognition? So the problems, they're not just in one spot. You understand? Yeah,
Yeah, it's,
everybody has
yeah,
a
it's
part to play.
widespread.
Everybody has a part to play. If even Facebook, you write something, translation and all that, you write issue, the Facebook brings it up as a
Yeah,
devil.
it's still coming up,
You know,
Satan or the devil. Yeah, unfortunately. And we got to advocate to fight that. Even in the movies and Yoruba movies, you still see craziness. Even here in America, you see the movies, you know, um, advocating such nonsense. We really have to fight that because this
so
is,
it's just
it demands respect.
yeah, it's just painful. It's really painful. So we will only keep trying. We keep pushing. Through media, through speaking up, through recently about a month ago or 2 months ago, a couple of Ifa priests protested, not so far from the government house in Oyo State. That made me almost cry. That why should Babalawo be protesting in their own land? Why should they be put behind of affairs and issues and all that? So it's a lot. It's a long way to go because the average African child or Yoruba child right now is born with that self-hate inside of him. He's born with that self-hate. And these things it's not even cool because at that point, learning the language just becomes something you have to pass in the school. You know, yeah. At the point, it becomes that. And you just want to pass it and leave it, and that's that. And then you move on with life. Which shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, so culture should be placed up there, so that even our brothers from the diaspora, once they see that, oh, we really take this thing seriously, they too will not have a choice than to put,
Yeah.
all the strength and effort into it. It is only those who really know the worth of this that want to learn,
Yeah.
because tone, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, can I go on here?
Huh?
No, I was okay. Let me go on. So I was
Go
saying,
yes. Go.
all right. For instance, now coming back to the diaspora, you see, tones are very essential in Yoruba language
I know.
because because you find a lot of words that have the same spelling but mean absolutely different things. Absolutely different. And I'm going to use a popular sequence, you know.
I know. I'm corrected all the time by my Yoruba family. If I say something wrong, they say, "What are you trying to say? What? I don't understand. I don't." So, yeah.
So, and if we don't learn these things, we begin to wonder, but it's not hard. It's just about paying attention, paying attention to the fullest. I've just written 4 words now, you know. Uh, Although one day even has the same tone, but they mean different things. The first one is Ogun, do mi, you know. The second one
Do,
is Re,
do me.
Ogun, yeah, do mi, Ogun, you know. The
Okay.
yeah, the second one is Ogun, Re, that is war.
But that's not the same one as Orisha.
You said what, yeah?
That's not the same. The war Ogun is not the
No, no,
same
no,
as
no.
Ogun.
Mm-mm, not the same. They mean different things.
Oh wow, thanks
They
for this.
mean,
Oh, inheritance. I don't know that one. Oh,
yeah,
20. Oh,
yeah, Ogun,
okay.
Ogun.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That is why, for instance, the word erindilogun, it simply means uh,
16.
20 minus 4. 20 minus 4. Erindilogun.
Oh.
That's another aspect of.
Ooh, that's a whole look, you going deeper down the you going down the Europe rabbit hole. I'm like, oh, now my mind is ticking. It's ticking. So yes, yes. Thanks for this. So what about Ogun, like Ogun medicine? I know
Okay,
that's like too old, but
yes, that is true. It can be written with one O as well, you know.
mm,
Medicine. I'm gonna write that down.
wow.
Yeah.
And this short span, I just learned like 5 extra words. Thank you. Yes, Ogun is medicine.
Yeah. Yeah. So they are. It can even be spelled like this, Ogun. Because it depends on how people pronounce them. Some just skip the 2 O's and just go Ogun. Ogun. Like that. So
I
this these
agree,
are.
Ia Oshun Fumike. She says Dean Logun means nothing. That you know, like in the diaspora, a lot of people say Dean Logun or D Logun to cut it short for divination. But we in Yoruba land say Erin Dean Logun.
Yes, that's right.
So I say the whole thing. I say Erin Dean Logun. I don't be lazy and say Dean Logun. I don't, because it's true. It doesn't have a definition.
Uh, yeah. Well, it is what it is. Language. So I've just written, Erin Dilogun here. Mind you, in pronouncing a lot of these words, because in Yoruba land as well, we have various accents. You know, we have the generally spoken Yoruba, which everybody can relate to, right? Now, those from the Ijesha regions, Ijesha regions, Ekiti regions, Ondo regions, their own dialect kind of, varies. And to the point that if you don't have the ear, sometimes, you might not even hear what they're saying. You wouldn't understand. For instance, those from the Ondo, many towns in Ondo State, Ikare, Ondo Town, Koko and the likes, their own dialect is a little twisted. So, it's gonna,
Yes, I heard that. And Benin, they speak a whole Benin City, they speak a whole
yeah,
dialect. I know I've heard Ife. Even in Oyo, they say I say instead of ashe, they say
yes,
I say, which is interesting. And
that,
and when I was hearing that, I was like, what are they saying? What are they, which is different from Ife and Oshun Oshogo, and I was
yeah,
just like, wow. And then Lagos, I heard it totally different. Like, how it is
that,
here. It's a question here I kind of want to answer, and then you answer. Where does the M come from in Merinding Lagoon? Merinding Lagoon means 16, I believe. Is that the
okay.
translation?
Okay, now this is it. You see, I taught this recently. In Yoruba language, just like in English, we have the numerals themselves, we have the numbers, we have quantity, you know, when we're talking about,
Mm,
yes. So,
mm,
Erindilogun is the numeral 16. Now, if you want to say, get me uh, 16, 16 roosters, for instance, àkùkọ mẹ́rìndínlógún. You understand? Now, in that aspect, is referring more to quantity. You understand? So,
mm.
uh, it's just like, okay, let me use uh, one, for instance. They say one, ọ̀kan, right?
Yes.
One is ọ̀kan. But if I want to say, give me one, I'll say fún mi ní ẹyọ. So that ẹyọ refers to quantity. Or if I say fún mi ní,
Mm.
you getting it, yeah?
It's like click, click, click. Oh, so Erinding
So
Lagoon and Merinding Lagoon is really not the same when you in definition.
yes, in the details itself, Erindilogun, talks about the numeral itself. But when we now add that M to make it Merindilogun, we are now talking about the quantity.
Quantity. Ah,
Yeah, you understand?
this is
Just
good.
like I used the example of one okan. Now, if I want to refer to something as in one thing, I can say eyokan or I can say ikan, you know. But the con that you hear there, is the pointer to quantity.
Mhm,
You understand? Yeah, is the pointer to quantity. Now, let's look at two. Two, AG. Two, AG. But if I want to refer to two things, I will say meji.
I'm always saying Meggie. So I was doing okay, okay, all
Yeah.
right.
So
Meggie.
quantity
So
now
edgy
becomes,
is okay.
yeah, AG. They could be used interchangeably, perhaps for somebody that doesn't really grasp the language, okay? But once you understand the language, you realize that, okay, this one specifically talks about quantity, while this one is just referring to the numeral itself.
Wow. So there's eta, meta, merin, merun. Ed is erin, erun, like kind of like
Henry,
that.
yes, Henry is four, and then
Hmm.
Mary refers to four things as in quantity. You understand, yeah?
Yeah.
And then that is one side of it. Another side of it is position, like number one, that is
Yeah.
first. Uh-huh. So for one now, one, Ocon, right? So the position for one now becomes Akoko.
Wow. Can what let me answer Gabby, it's something like that. Something like that. Okan, Ejogbe, Ogunda, Eroson, but those are different words that have different definition. But but as far as the shell speaking, you would it is a they do say there are five mouths speaking, or there are seven mouths speaking. They'll say it in Yoruba, or there are eight mouths speaking. So that would,
Mhm.
yes, that would be the way to say that.
Yeah, so as we have, positions given in English language, like first, second, third, fourth, we also have them in Yoruba, Ekini for first, Ekeji, Eketa, Ekerin,
Mm.
Ekarun, and on, Ekefa, Ekeje, Ekejo, Ekesan, Ekewa, Ikokanla, Ikejila, Iketala, you know.
Wait a minute. What's the definition of écosson?
Huh?
I thought that meant good evening. Écosson.
No, 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 no. You got me wrong. I said
Oh,
I probably,
okay. Wait a minute. Sound
I,
like you said. I was like, wait a minute. Hold up. That sound like. See, that's that phonetic. That's that phonetic.
yeah. I was going 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. I was already ascending like that. Perhaps I was too fast. That is why, you thought I said
That and
Kurole.
that's another thing. As a American, I tend to speak Yoruba slower. I can't speak it fast, and I can't hear it very fast because it's
Okay.
you all speak it so extremely fast. I can't, of course, it's not my native tongue. And so sometimes I have to say, please slow down to understand, because sometimes I can understand a lot of Yoruba, but if it's too fast, I can't take
Okay.
it. But I do want to
Um,
announce one more again, that not only
okay.
does he do private lessons, homeschool. If you want your child to learn Yoruba instead of Spanish, instead of French, instead of whatever else, this is a great addition to your homeschool lesson planning with your child, or you can do it with your child. And it would be just a great addition for them learning a, a
Yeah.
African language, a African language that was snatched, that is still being snatched to this day. How good would that be? And kids can retain. So like my
Mm.
my son is he's I'm a kind of wean him up out of that program. I really want him with you. He's been taking Yoruba. He's a homeschooler, so he's been taking Yoruba.
Okay.
I didn't want him to do Spanish and French. I said, you gonna learn
No,
Yoruba, and
of
so.
course.
And so I remember when we was in Nigeria just in January, and one of the elders was talking to him in Yoruba. She said, I refuse to speak English to you. You will understand what I'm saying to you. And
Mm.
she kept saying, bring my bag in Yoruba. And he just was staring, and finally he got it. Finally he was, you know, but that's how they did me
Yeah.
when I first my second time in Nigeria. They kept speaking. They said, I refuse to speak English to you. I'm not speaking. You're gonna learn. They just threw me in the
That
ocean with no life
that
jacket.
that is
But
it. No.
I get it now. I enjoy it. I really
Uh,
enjoy it.
yeah, I was telling Nia earlier that once you learn, it stays with you. And, you know, being somebody that you have other students coming under you, they look up to you. So, and for basic words, basic phrases, you need to be able to tell them what it
Yeah.
is, what it means, without mincing words. So
Hmm.
it's a big deal, really. We might overlook it. It's a big deal. So we don't get stuck, you know. And to say at least a sentence of words, prayers, oriki, these certain things are what we should at least know. And Yoruba people, we say that spoken words, once we speak into the air, they are very powerful. So it means a lot. And Orisha, Irumole, Ori, Egbe, they hear these things, Sometimes
Yes.
they only need you to say that right sentence, and that is it. That is all.
And
So
it's
yeah.
cool because people say, Arisha hear my English and they get it. And I get that. And they do. They do.
Yeah,
But it
sure,
like
of
I
course.
said, but like I said before, and when I guess when a person gets knee deep into this cultural spirituality, when they get really knee deep, they'll understand the Ofo Ashe. Yes, the Ofo Ashe, and
Hmm.
unlocking it with saying certain words. It's because just like you said earlier, there are certain English words that can't even translate Yoruba words.
Mm-mm.
That's
No,
so where's the
it,
power at in some of the words? Some of the power is lost.
yes,
It's
that is
lost,
true. It is true.
and
And
so
wow,
let's
it is
keep
a lot.
trying though. Let's keep
Benny,
trying though.
Benny, Benny, Benny. Yeah, you're speaking African.
Don't give up. Oh. Don't give up. We cannot give up at all.
Let's keep trying. Nice one.
You know.
Um, yeah, generally, another thing I usually, at least for new students that I teach, for at least for those that have gone through the rites and have earned the names, I try as much as possible to break their names down so they can understand too. That,
Uh-huh.
okay, this is what your name is saying, or this is what it implies, and I say, oh, okay, there's no this, there's no that, but this is what the name is kind of saying. Because in understanding what your name is, you even, wear it with more pride. You are more
Yes.
self-aware because, you can lack self-awareness if you don't know the meaning of the name you have been given, which is just so once you know, my name is Eshu Damilari, you know that, oh, Eshu has justified me, or Eshu has proven me innocent, so, you wear it with pride, so yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is, you know, so
That'd
it's
be good also to do translation and translation or Riki because a lot of people don't understand it and they put their own little well, whatever. It's whatever translation. They get it, they understand.
hmm.
We're gonna have to, we gotta do better. Wait a minute. It
Okay.
says, can you discuss your pronunciation of Ashe you mentioned? It's just dialect. Like I said, they say I said when I was in Oyo, they would say instead of Ashe, like that sound, they would say I say. So it was just a dialect. It's like New York versus Atlanta twang.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
that's it. It's just
Yeah.
regional dialect. That's their
Yeah.
accent up there.
And it's not even in Oyo alone. Even in Ibadan, we favor the sound over sh. You know,
Yeah.
An Ibadan man wants to say chair. He may say sia. You know,
Mm.
yeah, and yeah, he may say osun. That is just the accent. It's just it's engraved in the tongue. It's engraved on the tongue. You can't take that away. So we a lot of us, like when I was in Oyo during the low key World Shango Festival. A brother over there was telling me that he asked me if I was gonna have some e-goat meat. He said ouko. It took me a while to get what he was saying because I am used to obuko as the e-goat,
Yes.
obuko, but he said ouko, almost like a W, I just stood there looking at him. What is he saying? So that is accent, for you, in different parts of Yoruba land. In some places you get there, you are totally, amazed because the Yoruba spoken there resembles Okun that Kogi people speak.
Hmm.
So yes, yeah, in some parts of Ekiti, the Yoruba is totally, off, especially around the Omuoke. That side is close to Kogi State. So the Yoruba there is different from what we Normally, and so a Yoruba person might hear that and not even understand a word that is being spoken. So that is the depth
So,
of
so,
Yoruba.
do you think colonialism played a part with that? Why do you think that the it's such drastic? Is it because of the infiltration also of other clans in that area, Fulani, Hausa?
It is very possible, because when you from Kwara State upwards, Kwara State, has a lot of Muslim, uh,
Yes.
influence. You understand?
Hmm.
In fact, the first time I got to Ilorin, which is the capital of Kwara State, I felt I was in the north because you see a lot of difference, you know. You see most people with hijabs and all that, and some parts of Kwara as well. Yoruba is not even spoken in some parts as the major language. So perhaps it is possible, the distribution, of all these differences can be as a result of influx of culture, foreign culture, maybe from Western perspective, even from within
Yeah,
the country as well. Let's not forget as well that Nigeria, there was no Nigeria prior to,
that's true.
yeah, it was the British that came, and then, to make governance easier, they
Yeah.
joined very
That's
different.
crazy. I'm still tripping off of why I watched the documentary on that, and I'm like blown about how they forced the Hausa and the Igbo and the Yoruba together, and it's all about economics. And it was the beneficiary was
In
Britain.
fact,
It was
is
it was crazy.
very crazy, the indirect rule system, and that also influenced what negatively affected, um, Yoruba culture and other indigenous cultures in Nigeria, in Africa till date. For instance, let's take Ibadan, for instance. Even before the title Olubadan was being given, it was Baale. We had Baale then, that was the major ruler of Ibadan. But the white man came and made the Baale like the go-between between
Yeah.
himself, the people. So he took charge. We then had governors of this region, of that region. So at that point, the traditional uh, capacity, of traditional rulers, was brought in below that of the governor. Because in the real sense of it, Yoruba people had kings, royalty, monarchs
Hmm.
in charge of, maybe this town or that town, and all that. But then the governor, or the system of government, having a governor was superimposed, you know, to the
Yeah.
extent that till this day, the governor, almost overrides, or if not overrides, that of the traditional ruler. So colonial tendencies are still very much evident till today, and it's, sometimes you just feel helpless that what is really going on, you know. And meanwhile, the British who brought governors and everything over there, the queen is still the queen, When it's the time for the king is the king, But here they messed things up, you know. And then what children ought to be proud of in terms of their history, their culture, their artifacts, they carted away all these things to their museums.
It's
The
true.
British Museum is full of looted properties, looted items, from Benin, I think in 1897, the Benin punitive expeditions, they carted away over 2,000 artifacts. 2,000, you know, in a sitting. It's unfair, and now the Benin child is looking for a source of identity. He has to travel all the way to England to go look at the works of his ancestors. It's not fair.
Dang.
You know,
You
Works
know
from
that
Ife.
that remind me. It's a museum, huge museum in the DC area, Smithsonian, and I was invited to this event in which this Ia, she worked at, like, it's a very major, very old museum in this area, And so they had a lot of Yoruba artifacts there, and they had Egungun masquerades. It was like two Egungun masquerades, several
Mhm.
ayan, different drums, talking drums,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
so they had been there for a while, and they insisted that they were donated to the museum, which I do not believe they
Okay.
were donated. I really believe they were stolen.
Even if they were
I really
donated,
believe.
they were donated, with force, first donations, So it's a lot. It's traumatic, you know.
Yeah,
And the
it
ancestors
is
won't be
very.
happy with stuff like that. They will not be happy.
Hmm.
Imagine cutting away very important Orisha icons from families, This Orisha,
Exactly.
years
Taken.
later, will be turbulent in the household, and in the household, all the people are now Christians, they're now pastors, they're now Muslims, but the Orisha too demands attention,
And that's
some
why
of
a
the
lot of
time.
families are crumbling, though. That's why a lot of families have the generational curses because they trying to wake them up. They saying, "Hello, we are here." They trying to get their attention. Hello, you will suffer until you remember who I am.
The
You will
thing,
suffer.
imagine a family with very strong Egbe ties, and then they've just neglected them. There's problem here
People
and there.
dying,
You
people
know,
dying, and
yeah, so
because they refuse to practice their traditional ways. Just people dying, people barren, people the money is dried up, no success. Person is just walking around like zombie. It's crazy. It's
then,
crazy.
so there's a lot going on. You see, the whole problem of language and everything now, is general. At least we are playing a part, and
Yes.
those watching and those that will watch this, that should be a source of motivation as well, to learn and to learn correctly. Because passing on erroneous knowledge too can do a lot of damage. You know, can do a lot of damage, especially when artworks or Orisha representation, Orisha stories, at least properly, not
Hmm.
the wrong thing. Because whatever is, in this day and age of social media, whatever is posted out there, whatever is said, will be around for ages to come, as long as it has gotten into social media, So,
Hmm.
it's a long way to go, but at least we hope, we'll begin to find, footing, in this, spirituality and the language and everything, and it's all interwoven, the language, the culture, the spirituality,
Yes.
it's an umbrella of so many ideas, so many ideologies. We can't
Yes.
say we want to take this from this because some Christians will say, oh, there is culture, there is tradition, so they want to separate them. Oh, I can be respectful, I can do this, but hey, when it comes to religion, it's God, it is, it is heaven, it is this, not what is Ifa, what is this, what is that. We get a lot of that happening, Oh
It's
God, oh
it's, it's
goodness.
crazy. I absolutely love this conversation. Thank you so much for coming on. I know it's like 3, 4 a.m. and I want you to go rest.
Yeah,
Lo soon.
it's four,
Lo
it's
soon.
close to four.
Lo soon.
Yeah.
Go and sleep,
Now, yeah,
Lord.
to say that, you will say, because you might even be talking to an elder one day, so you will say elosun.
Oh, el lo soon. Not lo soon.
Just
El lo soon. Ah, see? See? It's one word that got me
okay,
off. Like el
okay,
lo soon.
elosun.
Uh,
Elosun. Yeah, so that's it.
uh,
Yoruba
very
people
true.
is seen as more than just one. If you see somebody now, that person represents the family he's from. That person represents his community. That is why sometimes, we refer to one person as if they are more. You
Hmm.
know, that is the reason for that air that is added there sometimes.
The respect,
The
uh,
respect, yes, the honorific pronoun air, you know, it is added when relating. Of course, it is used for elders, It is also used for multitude of people, more than one, you know, and it is,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, like that.
Thank
Don't
you for that.
worry. As time goes on, we will.
I really appreciate you. I really
Yeah,
do.
me too.
Thank you so, so, so much.
Okay.
So I'm going to wrap this up. I think a lot of people are going to walk away from like, wow, I really need to, get into this. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Let me get all the way knee deep into this. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate you. And I'm going to be reaching out. We're going to be,
Okay.
getting you on here
Okay.
more to get some of the fundamentals of the classes and understanding the
Yeah.
history behind all of this.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Okay.
I appreciate
Yeah.
you. I want you to go rest now.
Yeah, I will. Mutupe, yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So glad. I appreciate you. Have a good night. Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Take
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.